Do you want to play a character tormented by a shadow? One that's never fully seen, sometimes creeps into view before vanishing once again. You've questioned if it's real or just an illusion or nightmare that keeps returning, but you know it's real. You've seen it too many times for it to be a mere part of your imagination. The biggest question is, why does it follow you and seem to almost protect you? Hi all, it's Jordan here, one half of the Luke West team, and today we're exploring a homebrew subclass that we've created, as well as a character themed around this subclass. For the main theme of this subclass, we wanted to play around with the idea of a creeping shadow that haunts your character and other creatures to induce fear and paranoia. And with the idea you could play this in different ways based on your character, and how your shadow would interact and is seen by different characters could change. One of the influences for this subclass is Percy from the Critical Role series. The demon Orthax following him has this really creepy and sort of terrifying form to it, which we really want to portray in our own way as well. We also love Jinx from Arcane and the way that she reacts with her scribbled torment.
Shut up.
We thought this could be a really interesting way to play the subclass and actually interact with the shadow while you're role playing with your party. We also like the idea of Gengar as a more friendly, sort of comic shadow that follows you, allowing you to have a more funny relationship with it.
Me and Haunter are pals.
For his backstory, Gorin grew up on his own in the secluded wilds in a house first built by his parents before their passing. It was there where some bandits discovered him and kidnapped him, trapping him away in what he could only think was an old deserted dungeon. The only light he could see for days was when the food was thrown to him, followed by an insult or two, before the stone doors creaked closed again. On his fifth day he saw eyes in front of him, briefly in the darkness, grey tones just enough to make out. This figure kept appearing over the next few days, incomprehensible whispers being thrown around the room. The terror he felt was beyond anything he had felt before and changed him to a shell of himself. After what must have been more than a week or two in this room, he heard a voice in his head, promising him freedom in exchange for cooperation, if he would only accept it. Yes, please help me. All of a sudden, a heavy breeze of sorts crept through the whole dungeon, and nothing but death followed in its path. Screams were heard, getting louder and closer to Gorin, until the door was eventually thrust open. The room was now lit by this open door, and in front of him was the full form of this shadow that had been haunting him. With the character art for Gorin, we really wanted to have this idea of a light source or something present to sort of ward off the shadow. And Holly did a really good job in developing this candle idea on the shoulder pads, as well as this really cool striking lantern on the end of his staff. Some other things we wanted to portray in the character art is his lack of armor and the fact he looks quite defenseless. We wanted to kind of give off a shy and timid look, which I think we achieved really well, and especially in the actual facial expressions of the character on the art. Another thing we wanted to capture, we have two different versions of the artwork, is the shadow itself and how that sort of creeps along the character's feet and around its shoulders, while the main form of it actually follows and is trailing behind the character itself. We developed Gorin as a neutral good character, and if we were building him as a character to play, we would probably go with the hermit background from the 2024 books, as we believe this fits in best with his backstory and sort of adds to the idea that he is defenseless and alone and lives peacefully away from society. As for the mechanics for the subclass, we start off with the expanded spell list. This list includes a lot of the spells you would expect from this subclass in terms of playing around with the fear spells or affecting people's senses. But we also wanted to add in some other potential spells that the shadow or just the link to the ethereal being could help with. So we've also included invisibility, or later on down the line, the dominate person spell. And then also at level 3, you gain the unnerving presence ability, which is basically just how your shadow works and how you're able to then push that onto other people as a bonus action. Having the shadow then attached to you or someone else gives that person benefits, but also some negatives. So sometimes you may want it on yourself, and at other times you may want to curse others with it. You can also recall it if you have got it on someone. This just takes a bonus action, or it is returned automatically if the target is incapacitated or moves too far away. Whoever the shadow is attached to gains some resistances to necrotic damage, but every time they take damage, they take another 1 force damage as the shadow attacks them as well. While you're being followed by the shadow, you also cannot be surprised, but any creature who attempts to intimidate you has advantage on that roll. At level 6, you gain the Encroaching Terror ability, which, as an action, you can command your shadow to put magical darkness below its current target. In doing so, any target that starts its turn within this 10-foot range of darkness takes 2d8 force damage as the shadow itself attacks them. This damage does scale as you level and dispels any magical light that is below it up to 2nd level. At level 10, you gain the Misty Remnants ability. This is where the shadow itself leaves part of its form with you when it now haunts others, and this grants you resistance to cold damage, and any creature that attacks you takes damage equal to your charisma modifier. And lastly, at 14th level, you gain the Soul Breaking Shriek ability, which allows you to, as an action, command your shadow to let out a shriek to anyone within 20 feet of its current target. All creatures affected must take a wisdom save, and on a failure they take 4d8 force damage and are frightened for 1 minute. The affected creatures do also get to make another wisdom save at the end of their turns to end the effect early, and if your shadow was placed on an ally when this feature was used, the creatures affected by frightened are frightened against that ally instead of yourself. If you have survived to the end and not quite succumbed to paranoia, thank you for watching. This subclass is free in the description, and we're already working on some more to come out in the future. Thanks again from myself and the other half of Loot Quest, Holly. If you wish to support us, you can head over to our Etsy store and order yourself a fantasy or D&D treat. We do a load of different bits of loot, and every month we launch a free potion sticker that we add to any orders and display the Homebrew effect over on our Instagram. We also have the Pact of the Paranoia Subclass sticker, as well as many other subclass stickers over on our store, so check that out if you're interested. Let us know in the comments what you feel about our subclass, and if you do play it, please let us know. We'd love to hear about it. Have a lovely rest of your week, and we will see you soon.